Dharma Bites is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
There's a few different things in this sutta. One of the central themes is dogmatism versus faith, really. What faith means in this context, and mainly in Buddhist context, is faith is an ability to sit with uncertainty. So you have faith because you don't know. Dogmatism is certainty, it's security. Faith, there's no security, there's no certainty with faith. So the Buddha is saying, well, actually, you have your faith, you have your tradition, you have your everybody else approves of something, so there's great approval, or even your reflections and your deeper reflections. You have to hold it all provisionally. You haven't realized, you haven't, as it were, you haven't really got it in your bones, as it were. It's still knowledge, it's still, as it were, intellectual. Although, of course, the faith is not intellectual. Yeah? So he's making this distinction between a direct experience or direct realization and simply knowing something. And of course, the Brahmins in the sutta are an example of dogmatism. They're an example of saying, this is right, everything else is wrong. But it's not based on anything more than tradition that's what they think, basically. It's an interesting thing because you can apply this probably not just to spiritual truths, but to all sorts of things in our world. You know, there are a lot of people seem very certain about a lot of things, even when they couldn't possibly know, as it were. So the views are often based on tradition, or they're based on approval. In other words, what everybody else thinks, or everybody else that they are listening to thinks, because sometimes they're not necessarily listening to everybody. It's a partial kind of input, or it's based on their own thoughts or whatever, or even some kind of tradition. That applies in all sorts of areas of life, that actually, you know, what we think we, as it were, know to be true, we ought probably to be taking more provisionally. So there's a teaching here about holding lightly to views. And of course, in the Buddhist context, we need to hold lightly to views, whether they're, even when they're right views, you hold lightly to them. Yeah?
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharma Bite. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.